Thomas. As Faust was 4 for 8 for 36 yards before these two long passes. He hit for 27 to Thomas at the end of the third quarter. He just hit for 26 to Thomas. They have the ball just shy of the 20-yard line. And we look at Jim Hannafin again, signaling to the San Diego huddle. Stepping into the booth just to say hello to us briefly, Dave Winfield, slugger for the San Diego Padres. Great athlete, Dave. Good to see you, babe. 13:30. That's what a baseball player does on his day off. He comes to a football game. First and 10 Chargers. Thomas. Almost to the 15-yard line. The little guy. He's only 5'11", Thomas. But he's 190 pounds of dynamite. Takes for 5, second down 5. Here's that address again. To send your tax-deductible contribution to help our American Olympic athletes. U.S. Olympics, Post Office Box 1980D. Cathedral Station, Boston, Mass. We'll recap the scoring for you. You've joined us late, but you missed quite a ball game if you didn't see all of it. It's been up and down all the way. Second down, 6, San Diego. Artie Owens to the 5-yard line. First and goal to go, San Diego. Artie Owens, who just came in as a running back, picks up what he needs. Steve Freeman makes the stop. Owens, number 24, out of West Virginia. A 4-year man who does it all, as Mike Lucci referred to earlier. Runs back, kicks, does everything.
That time they were working that same formation we talked about earlier in the game. They had both tight ends, or Kellen Winslow, who plays outside receiver, was drafted as tight ends. They ran away from him. They had been running towards him. It looked like it's crossed the Bills up somewhat. He got outside. Artie Owens doing a good job getting it down to the 5-yard line.
All right. 20-19 San Diego. 12 minutes to play in the game. Bauer and Williams are the running backs for San Diego. Jefferson is squat. This been left far wide. The handoff goes to Bauer. He's hit the 4-yard line. The initial hit by Shane Nelson. Inside linebacker out of Baylor. Started as an outside linebacker. Moved inside when Robertson joined the club this year. They spotted on inside the 3.
Hank Bauer, the captain of special teams. Last year they brought him in short yardage situations near the goal line, much like Oakland used Pete Vanasak. And Bauer had the nose for that goal line. He got it across many times, so they're trying to get it in right now.
Greg McCrary comes in now. 2 tight ends are in there. Winslow comes out, or Jefferson comes out. This is Williams looking for his 4th touchdown. He's got it. That's his 4th touchdown of the afternoon. Clarence Williams. And the Chargers lead it 26-19. What an afternoon he's had today. Look at it.
And it's a great individual effort, but again, they went behind Ed White and Russ Washington. They ran to the right. They had Kellen Winslow over there at the wing. They just blew him off, and Clarence Williams, with a great individual effort, he fought it into the end zone.
He is a young man who, slowed by knee injury, suffered in scrimmage last year, missed 6 games of the regular season, had a fine rookie year. Plays both running back spots, can return kicks at 88 yards against Kansas City. Here's the extra point effort by Venerska. And the Chargers now have an 8-point lead with 11 minutes to play in the game. San Diego with the biggest lead of the game so far. Chargers 27. The Bills have 19. Still plenty of time. 11 minutes, 14 seconds to go here at San Diego. Williams with 4 touchdowns this afternoon. The kick. Fumble. Kicked again. Fumble. Picked up again. Look out. At the 20-yard line, and that's it. A little trouble on the far side. Trying to pull around that football. It looked like rolling hooks, and a fight starts out. They quickly step in between them there. It was, I thought it was Powell back there, Steve Powell. Maybe it was Woody.
Just the point that it's important that the Chargers are up by 8 points, because right now that Rolf Venerska has had a tough time just kicking an extra point. And if he's called on to kick a long field goal, he spent the week in the hospital, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. So you got to take a look at it right now.
It is Powell. Yeah. Really going after him there. A couple of elbows, a couple of shoulders. Quiet game. First and 10 Buffalo. 11 minutes to play in the contest. Buffalo is down by 8. Bill's trying to get something going. About a yard. That's that's about it as the San Diego defense converging on Curtis Brown. Williams, 150 yards today. The record for San Diego for total yardage by a running back is 206. Keith Lincoln did it back in '64. However, the 4 touchdowns that Williams has scored ties the San Diego record held by Lance Allworth, who caught 4 touchdown passes. Bradshaw is back in the Pittsburgh-St. Louis game. He suffered a sprain of the ankle. He has come back in. Cusack goes out. It's 15-7 in favor of St. Louis. 18-7 in favor of St. Louis now. Almost picked off. Almost picked off. Pass was intended for Jerry Butler, and it was Mike Williams who went up in the air and almost picked it off. As Ferguson now is 14 out of 22 for 227 yards. Throwing 2 touchdown passes.
They play what they call a 2-zone. They funneled the receiver to the inside and hoped that the safety can get there in time. That time Glad Edwards came across. He had a shot at the football, but he couldn't hold on to it.
Lou Picone, Frank Lewis, Butler, 3 wide receivers in there for Buffalo now. It's 3rd down and 9. Jumping off, John Lee. Play continues. Flags are thrown. Pass is thrown incomplete. There'll be an offside against John Lee, who jumped off. 4-year defensive end out of Nebraska. The San Diego drive, which culminated with Williams scoring for the 2, was another 80-yard drive. And for those of you who might have joined us late, Buffalo scored first. A fumble of a punt return by Mike Fuller, recovered by Buffalo on the 40. Willie Parker recovered it. 5 plays later, Ferguson, first touchdown pass of the year, hit Frank Lewis, 21 yards. San Diego marched back 80 yards. Scored. Williams scored from the 5. The point after was good. The point after the Buffalo touchdown was no good. It was 7-6 San Diego. Chargers went ahead 13-6 when Williams capped another 73-yard drive by scoring from the 1. Then Buffalo came back, an 80-yard drive. Ferguson scored from the 10 with 4 seconds to go and a half. It was 13-12. We'll pick up the scoring in a moment. Right now, it's 3rd down and 4. Buffalo operating from their own 27. They're down by 8. Ferguson hit from the blind side, almost picked off by Fuller. He got a wrap. Fergie did, as he was hit. Reuben Gadsden, center receiver. So the Chargers have held the other touchdowns in the 3rd quarter. Ferguson screened past the Brown, went 84 yards for touchdown. Buffalo took a 19-13 lead. Then a 55-yard run by Williams put San Diego out in front. And then Williams scored from the 2 to cap another 80-yard drive to make it 27-19. Now another punting effort for Rusty Jackson. Jackson. 5 punts, 46-yard average. Fuller is back. 27-yard line. Thought he put a hand up, but I guess he didn't. Down goes Fuller at the 38-yard line.
Mike Fuller takes the punt on the 27-yard line.
Brings it back 10 to the 38. First down, San Diego. And a fight breaks out in front of the Buffalo bench. They quickly get in between them. Hank Bauer is involved, I believe.
Number 25,
also Willie Buchanan. We got a timeout on the field. 10 minutes to play in our football game here in San Diego. And the Chargers holding an 8-point lead by 2 explosive teams. 27-19 San Diego. NBC Sports covers Major League Baseball next week. Either Pittsburgh at Chicago or Minnesota, Milwaukee. 3 of the 4 pennant races still very much up for grabs. The Reds leading by a game and a half National League West. The Pirates by a half game over Montreal, National League East. And in the American League, the Angels by 3 over Kansas City. First and 10, San Diego at the 39-yard line. Pitch back Thomas. Nothing. Couple of yards at the most. 42-yard line. Smurlis and Nelson make the hit. Mike Lucci.
Now it's going to be important for the defense to turn the football over. They've only got 9 minutes and 45 seconds. They're down by 8. You may see a little gambling on the part of the Buffalo Bills. And again, sometimes when you see the gambles, it ends up in a long touchdown for the offense. So we'll take a look at it.
We'll mention again, for those of you who might have joined us late, about little Mike Thomas. That is the same Mike Thomas who was used to play for the Washington Redskins. Mike came over for a 5th-round draft pick this year, and he's given San Diego some outside speed. It's second down, 6. There goes Clarence Williams in the grasp right there of Lucius Sanford.
And off to Clarence Williams.
In scores today in baseball, we gave you some scores, gave you these where they were in the standings. A final, Pittsburgh lost to the Mets today 3-0. We have nothing in yet from Montreal. They were supposed to play 2 with St. Louis. The Reds lead the Dodgers 2-0 in the 8th. Houston and San Francisco are 1-1 in the 6th. The American League, Milwaukee beat the Angels for the second straight night 2-1, but Seattle beat Kansas City 6-3. So the Angels remain 3 in front in the American League West. Here it's third down and 4. Back to football with 8.5 to play in the game. Winslow in motion. Bounce. Long for Joyner. Almost intercepted. Coverage on the play. Way down here. Mario Clark. Joyner going up with Clark. Clark, a #1 draft choice out of Oregon a couple years ago.
With third down and short, you have to wonder why he went for the bomb. He could have, as a little play action pass. Kellen Winslow had delayed. He could have dumped it off to him to pick up the first down, to keep a drive going, eating up some time on the clock, yet he threw it downfield. I think it was a bad decision that time by Dan Fouts.
West, who's had 3 punts for a 46-yard average, will now kick away. Fouts has completed 6 out of 10 for 71 yards this afternoon, far below his average. Big rush on West, but he hangs it up. Fair catch call for, signified. Moody bumps the ball. Loose ball. He got banged into a flag is down. He signified a fair catch, and there's going to be interference call. Moody called for a fair catch. And then he juggled the ball because somebody was getting in the way of his attempt to catch the ball. Now let's see how the officials. Fred Silva is down there. The 30-yard punt. But there's going to be a penalty against San Diego. There it is. You got to give the man a chance to make the catch, even if the kick is short.
It's a 15-yard penalty. How right you are. You've got to give him the opportunity to catch the ball. He bobbled it. They hit him, but you've got to give him a chance to catch it.
So that'll bring the ball 15 yards out, put it across the 41.
By the kicking
That
team.
is only the 3rd penalty against San Diego. Buffalo has had a total of only 3 penalties. We only had 6.
The punt by Jeff West.
You're looking at it here, and he's got the football. It bounces off his pads. Now you've got to give him a chance. It's a little late. It's a judgment call, but Kellen Winslow bumped into him. But nevertheless, it's a 15-yard penalty, and the Buffalo Bills have the ball.
1st and 10 of the 41. 8:21 to play. The Bills are down by 8. Terry Miller. Flag is down. So is Miller at the 43. Pursuit by Edwards and Fuller.
Tackled by number 20.
We've had only 6 penalties, 3 against each team in this game. This one's going to be against Buffalo.
Chuck Knox still playing it conservative on 1st down. He's running the football. You like to see him throw it on 1st down. You don't tee off as much. The linemen are not coming across as hard, and you have a little more time to throw the football. But he's keeping it on the ground. He's only 8 points behind, but he only has 8 minutes and 9 seconds to catch up.
Would you throw that ball on 1st down in a situation like this, Mike?
Absolutely. You have to figure that on 1st down, you're looking for a run or pass.
Offense, illegal use of the hands. 1st down.
Illegal use of the hands called against Buffalo. Referee Fred Silva did not indicate the guilty party. Well, Chuck Knox won 5 straight Western Division titles with the Rams, going with a run. He was criticized in the Los Angeles media. All he did was win. How can you criticize, a winning club?
He had a lot more horses in L.A. than he does in Buffalo.
That's true. Ferguson back. Screen pass, Brown. 35, breaks the 40, 45. Finally hammered down from behind at the 46-yard line of San Diego. Curtis Brown with a tremendous effort. Tremendous effort. 24 yards. He had tacklers all over him the last 10 yards.
You can see it here, and again, as Stu just said it, what a tremendous effort. We're seeing a couple of Curtis Brown, Artie Owens, Clarence Williams. The people here today and you people back at home are getting your money's worth because they're just playing outstanding football. Curtis Brown struggling forward, picking up that extra yardage. 1st and 10.
Wilbur Young comes out. John Lee goes in on defense for San Diego. 27-yard play. 1st and 10. They spot the ball at the 46. Nothing there. John Lee's got the ball carrier. Terry Miller spins him around.
And off to number 40, Terry Miller. He's stuck with number 69, John Lee.
So
St. Louis has gone on top of Pittsburgh in the third quarter, 21-7.
Mike Wood has kicked a couple of field goals. Otis Brown has scored a touchdown. Otis Anderson has scored a touchdown. Bradshaw was out for a while with a sprained ankle. He's back in there now, and Pittsburgh has only been able to get one touch on the board. That was Bradshaw to Stallworth late in the first quarter. Here it's 27-19 San Diego, 6.5 to play in the game. Second down, 12 Buffalo. Hooks double reverse. That's Frank Lewis. No place to go. Help. At the 47-yard line, Woodrow Lowe forces him out.
Give the credit to John Lee. He got the penetration. Your job as a defensive end is to contain the football. You're supposed to stay at home and not chase, and he did just that time. If you'll remember, at the start of the telecast, we said it was 102 degrees, and you've got to give these young men a lot of credit down there because they're playing football. I don't see either team dragging. They have to be in great physical condition.
John Lee out of Nebraska. Now, the Bills bring in 3 wide receivers. Lou Picot joins Butler and Lewis. There are 5 backs in the defensive secondary for San Diego. It is a 3rd and 16 with 6:15 to go in the game. The Bills are down by 8. Ferguson's pass dropped at midfield. Curtis Brown.
Incomplete.
What a great afternoon he's had. The pass was a little short. He came back, should have had it.
Ray Preston.
And a 4th down coming up for the Bills with 6:13 to play in the game.
You can listen to the hand the defense is getting. We said maybe a little critical about Chuck Knox. We can say one thing. This Buffalo Bill team has come a long way in the last couple of years. They can get out on the field and play with anybody, and they've put on a valiant show so far today.
That they have. Jackson attempting his 7th punt, averaging 46 yards on the previous 6. Chargers put 3 men back now instead of Fuller. A couple other guys are back there now. Mike Williams. The punt sails over the head of everybody and goes into the end zone. A touchback, and it'll be 6 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. For the Chargers trying to go 3-0 out of the chute. A 52-yard punt by Rusty Jackson. Sports World next Saturday. A lot of finer World Cup diving. Some Olympic medalists trying to make the 1980 swimming team. Box McGinnis. You'll see it all on Sports World next Saturday on NBC. San Diego with an 8-point lead. 6:05 to play in the game. Thomas. Dragged down from behind. Shane Nelson with a saving tackle and a penalty marker goes down. Thomas might have broke that one, Mike.
It was the same formation from the vicinity. It's going to be a holding penalty against the Chargers, but they came with that tight slot. They've got Kellen Winslow about 2 yards outside of Bob Klein, and they just run that sweep. Now you can watch it here. You see the guard pulling, coming around. They hit the hole. Winslow doing a good job. Klein blocking down. Thomas picking the hole real well, turning it upfield. It was a good run, except they caught somebody holding.
All right. The holding call signified by Fred Silva. His microphone is not working. We can't find out who it was that was holding as we look at Don Coryell. His Chargers have beaten Oakland and Seattle, 2 of their 3 rivals in the AFC West. Don't forget Kansas City's in there also. Kansas City is now 1-2 after 3. Oakland and Seattle playing each other this afternoon. This is Thomas. Back up to about the 15-yard line. On the holding call, it was a 1st and 20, so it'll now be 2nd down and 15 for San Diego. But the clock continues to roll. 5:40 to go in the game as we look at Chuck Knox on the far side. Charles Robert from Sewickley, near where you come from.
Sewickley, Pennsylvania, right down the road. But Chuck Knox has done a fine job of bringing this Buffalo team together. We talked about it a little while ago, being conservative. He won in L.A. I think the difference in L.A. was his defense was a lot more outstanding. But offensively, he has a fine football team. Curtis Brown, Roland Hooks. I think Hooks is a better runner than Terry Miller.
Chuck Knox was an assistant coach at Detroit when you were playing with the Lions.
He was there for 6 years when I was there.
He came out a little hoony out of college in Pennsylvania.
Fact is, he was a high school coach in Pennsylvania whenever I was playing in high school.
Against him?
Played against him.
Played against him. There's a timeout on the field call Well, we've got 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go in our football game, and certainly many things still to be decided as we look down. Dan Fouts, the bearded quarterback of the San Diego Chargers, coming over to the sidelines to talk over here in the sidelines. Fouts, whose father is a sportscaster up in the Bay Area, Bob Fouts, for many, many years. And there's Chuck Knox. He's right in the midst of the sun. Here, Buffalo at the far side, facing the west, and he's getting all of it. This telecast, by the way, is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited.
I doubt whether we'll see the ball in the air. They've got 5:12 to go here in the fourth period in the game, and if they can run out another minute or two, they'd like to pick up a first down, but with 2nd and 15, I doubt very much whether he'll throw it.
Fouts is 6 for 10 for 71 yards right now, far below what he usually does. 2nd down, 15. 5:12 to go in the game. Fouts throws it, upset both you and me.
Well,
and the pass is complete to Kellen Winslow. And it's short of a first down. He needed 15. He got about 13. Ben Williams made the hit. Kellen Winslow, #1 draft choice, 13th player picked in the NFL this year. Great story about him. He went to Missouri. Phone went out the morning of the NFL draft. His phone went out. So he went down to the United Press office and stayed around the machine looking to see his name come up. Just hung around there. That's how he found out who he was drafted by.
he was supposed to go to Cincinnati, and they picked 2 players in the first round before him. He asked whether his name had fallen off the list or
fallen off the board. 3rd down, a little less than 5. Winslow in motion. Winslow got a first down, San Diego. Hit by Gillick and Mario Clark. Well, you and I figured that Fouts wouldn't be putting it in the air. That shows you why we're up here and they're down there, Michael.
Well, you have to look at it this way, Stu. What he did was throw the safe passes. He threw the little flanker screen. He just dropped back. Had he missed it, it would have went to the ground harmlessly. The other one was a little delay over the middle. He had the big target, 6'5", Kellen Winslow coming across. He hit him perfectly. You're right. I've never been able to call the plays.
Well, he's getting a lot of protection, a lot of time to throw there from Audick, Masick, and White. Audick, there's the story in itself right there, how he's playing guard in the absence of the injured Doug Wilkerson, left side, San Diego. Nothing there for Clarence Williams on a carry of a couple yards. Dan Audick, number 60.
Clarence Williams.
Guard. 4th round draft choice of Pittsburgh a couple years ago. He was cut by the Steelers, picked up and cut by Cleveland, picked up and cut by St. Louis. Never played a down in the NFL.
Number 77.
In the last preseason game, Doug Wilkerson, their longtime left guard, got hurt. Preseason game against the Rams. Audick has been in there and has played well.
Talking to Buffalo coaches, he's played very well.
2nd down, 8 to go. San Diego. We're down to 3 minutes to play. San Diego leading it by 8. Williams. Clarence has gained 153 yards this afternoon. 4 touchdowns, tying a San Diego Charger record set by Lance Allworth.
In a situation like this, you have the Buffalo plays a 3-4. They'll be slanting one way or another. You can see they'll take the outside. The linebackers are just kind of holding, and they're anticipating the play and trying to stop it. They would like them not to break it for a big gainer, but right now I don't agree with what they're doing. I think they need to come and try to pop that football loose, maybe blitz those linebackers a little.
We're down to 2.5 now remaining in the game. Bills want to get their hands on that football. Bills have 3 timeouts left. San Diego has 2. Winslow is in motion. Fouts is back. A rush. Flips it up over the head of Winslow. A big rush. Sherman White was really coming after him. That stopped the clock with 2:08 remaining.
They had the blitz coming that time, and Fouts had to get rid of it. But again, he was thrown to the Kellen Winslow. It was going to be a little delay screen out to the flat.
4th down coming up. So Fouts is 6 for 14 for 86 yards. Last year he was 15 for. Last week he was 15 for 30, 216 yards. West with his 5th punting attempt, averaging 42. This is Keith Moody back to receive. They sent a big rush. He gets it away. Moody at the 23 to the 40. to the 50. Finally bumped out in front of the Buffalo bench, somewhere around the 45-yard line. Excellent return by Keith Moody. We mentioned earlier, once a year he returns a punt for a touchdown. He's done it each of his first 3 years in the National Football League. So we've got the 2-minute warning being given to both benches right now. 2 minutes to play here in San Diego. And the Chargers still hanging on. They lead at 27-19 over Buffalo. There's our clock. There is our clock here showing a little less than 2 minutes to play. The Chargers have a 27-19 lead. And we want to thank the Sextons. Bob Sexton for his statistical work, Dan Sexton for his spotting work. That's father and son. They're always so helpful to us here in San Diego. NFL report coming up after the completion of our contest here with rundown and complete coverage of all of the NFL action going around the countryside. Ryan Gumbel, Mike Adamle. Here Buffalo trying to pull a miracle. They send Cone in motion. Ferguson back. Under pressure. Back for the second time this afternoon. Leroy Jones is the man who gets the sack.
Loss of 8 yards.
An 8-yard loss on the play. Leroy Jones, originally a second-round draft pick of the Rams, traded to San Diego a couple of years ago.
Held by Brad Hubbard and Dick Most.
The rushing record for Clarence Williams this afternoon for San Diego, 157 yards, breaks the all-time rushing record for San Diego set by Don Woods in a single game, 152. I thought Keith Lincoln had 206 one time. Let me check that. In the old league before the merger. Okay. Ferguson back. A lot of time. Looking. Hooks. Breaks it at the 50. Inside the 45-yard line, just about back to the original line of scrimmage. They had lost 8 yards on that last play. It's going to be about 3rd down and 9 now. 1:17 to go in the game. Mike?
You can give the credit on that first play to the defensive backs because they held them up and it gave them time to get the penetration and make the sack.
The Bills spend a timeout to stop the clock with 1 minute and 17 seconds to go in the game. So the Bills, with 2 timeouts still remaining, trying to regroup. They're down by 8. They're trying to beat the Chargers, and they're down 27-19 with 1 minute and 17 seconds to go on a very warm afternoon in San Diego.
52,000.
We got 1 minute and 17 seconds to play. Buffalo has a 3rd down and 9. They're down by 8. They've got 3 wide receivers in the ball game. Butler and Pacone on the near side, Lewis on the far side. Brown is behind Ferguson. Joe's pass low for Jerry Butler. And a 4th down situation coming up. Back there, Pete Shaw, number 44. So Ferguson went to the well a total of 27 times, completed 17 of them. 294 yards. That's 12 yards more than he passed for last week.
He's had a big day, but you can credit that defensive backfield for the Chargers the last couple of times. They're playing a nickel defense. They're covering him very well. They're giving that time, the line time to get in there and put the pressure on Joe Ferguson.
Obviously, the Bills are going to go for it now on a 4th down and 9 situation. They're going to go for the 1st down. What do you got to lose when you're down by 8 with 1 minute and 13 to go? Down Ferguson, being chased, running for his life, throws over the head of the intended receiver way down here at the 15-yard line. That's the tight end, Ruben Gant. San Diego will take over the football. Shaw helps up Gant over here as he was covering him. The fans here at San Diego, they put only 43,000 season tickets on sale. They hold back 9,000 so that the average working guy can get a chance to come to a Charger ball game. They sell out the place almost every week. This game was sold out not by Thursday, but yesterday afternoon. They're already sold out for several other games this season. Enthusiastic crowd here at this new San Diego stadium. In fact, my partner Mike Lucci was here the first game they ever played in the stadium.
We dedicated the stadium. We beat the Chargers, I think, about 38-21.
Nice going. All right, San Diego takes over 1st and 10 now with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go in the game. Mike Thomas gets a couple. I might point out also, this being Mike Lucci's debut with NBC, you were playing for Detroit the day that Tom Dempsey, who's now at Buffalo, was then with New Orleans when he kicked that record 63-yard field goal, which still stands. Do you remember the incident?
Well, I do, and just as a few minutes ago I predicted that he wouldn't throw the football, I told everybody don't rush it because he couldn't kick it from 63 yards, and of course everybody knows how far he kicked it. It might have been good from 70 yards. But Tom Dempsey's having his problems back in Buffalo. I just talked to Chandler a few minutes ago, and he said that he is the best kicker that he's ever worked with. He said that psychologically with that foot, he said if you don't give him the flat side of the ball and you give him the strings, he has a tendency to shank it or miss it. He said it's more apt to hurt him than another kicker.
Tom Dempsey, young man who went to junior college right near here in San Diego, Palomar Junior College, just up the road a piece. Great lesson for a lot of us. Said Buffalo has just spent their second timeout. They've got one more left. Chargers have two. We've got 58 seconds to go in the game, and the Chargers lead at 27-19. San Diego had a 1-point lead at halftime. They've scored twice in the second half. Buffalo has scored once. Fouts just falls on the ball, causing Buffalo now to spend their last timeout.
Yeah.
So the clock will stop with 56 seconds remaining, and Buffalo has just called their last timeout.
We talked before the game started, and it was 102 degrees. We got a little note a little while ago that it went down to 97. And again, I'd like to say that I'm amazed at the conditions these athletes are in because they're in great shape. They're still hustling. They've played all but 56 seconds ago in the game here, and they still look pretty fresh.
Dan Fouts talking to Don Coryell, his coach on the near sideline. That Harris, he's a former Buffalo Bill, James Harris. As Chuck Knox looks on from the far side, Harris played originally for Buffalo, then he got out of football. Everybody knows the story. Went to work for the Commerce Department in Washington. Carroll Rosenblum signed him with the Rams, played a couple of years there with the Rams, was their quarterback under Knox, and then he came to San Diego. James Harris out of Grambling. He was a teammate of Charlie Joyner and Buffalo's Lewis at Grambling. Frank Lewis. Third down, 6. Again, Fouts. There's nothing Buffalo can do to stop the clock. There are 50 seconds and counting. So it was 13-12 at halftime, San Diego. We had a couple of explosive plays. A Ferguson pass, good for 84 yards here in the third quarter. And then we had a 54-yard run by Clarence Williams. And that was followed by another touchdown by Williams, who has scored 4 touchdowns in this ball game. And Fouts comes off as the clock shows you 20 seconds to go.
They're going to take a penalty. They're going to let the 30-second clock run out. They'll take a penalty. There'll only be 13 seconds left.
Here it comes, the delay of the game. Stops the clock as we look at Charles Robert Knox. He's done quite a job with this Buffalo ball club. Turned them around, 5-11 last year. Should have beaten Miami.
Delay.
Beat the heck out of Cincinnati last week. Was in this ball game all the way against San Diego. Next week, Bills are home to the Jets. They play 3 of their first 4 games back in Buffalo, and then they hit the road. Chargers go to New England next week.
I think we have to say one more time what an outstanding job Curtis Brown and Roland Hooks have done, because they just gave a tremendous amount of effort today in this losing cause.
This rush on West, but he gets it away. They have nobody back to catch this ball. They put an 11-man rush on West. A gamble there by the Bills. The Chargers let it roll around. 1 second go, and that's it. The ball game is over. That's all over as Don Coryell heads over to congratulate his opposing coach. So the Chargers are now 3-0 coming out of the chute, Mike Lucci. They have beaten Buffalo to go 3-0 in the West. Buffalo now with a record of 1-2. Any final comments? We've got about 10 seconds.
Well, they were a little conservative first half, but they have plenty of firepower. I think this is an outstanding football team, and there's no reason they can't win their division.
For Mike Lucci, Stu Nahan, final scores, San Diego with 27. Buffalo Bills wind up with 19.